Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review, and today I'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse New 52 Talon. Now before we get into it here, let's first take a look-see at both the front and the back of the packaging. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, Talon does come with a collectible trading card featuring artwork from the source material, as it should be. I believe this is New 52, but don't quote me on that. But much like I said before in the review I did of Deathstroke the other day, when it comes to these collectible trading cards, I do tend to prefer artwork from the source material as opposed to a heavily photoshopped image of the figures in question. In this case, of course, being Talon here, because there's less of a chance I could replicate this, because while I don't want to toot my own horn, I sure as hell ain't no Greg Capullo either. That said, there is a bio on the back that you can pause and read at your own leisure. That said, Talons are assassins hired by the Court of Owls, who are essentially Gotham's corrupt elite. Kind of like politics nowadays. I'm sure I'll get shadow banned for that. But either way, Talons are assassins hired by the Court of Owls to silence those who go against the will of the elite core of Gotham City. That said, that took me probably 7 takes to say that without stuttering like a dumbass. So, you're welcome. That said, as far as Talon's accessories are concerned, he does come with 2 of these little kniffs, which do not store anywhere on the figure, unfortunately. That said, he also comes with 2 of these pretty significantly sized scimitar type swords. They're very thick and chunky. Not the sleekest looking things, but they'll get the job done. If you want to silence somebody, that's definitely going to do the job. Then he also has Scabbards, which plug into the back. Loosely, mind you, but they do work. If you want to take his scimitars here, you can slide them in like this. The other one will slide in, no, this way. I think I put the other one in upside down. I did. Silly. There we go. That's how you want to put them in there. Because when you're drawing the blade, it'll come out like that, which is a little bit easier than going like this. So, for those of you who wonder why I comment on that, it's because it's physically impossible to do it the other way. Even if you are a fictional comic book character. Not everyone's Mr. Fantastic. That said, taking a closer look at good old Talon here. Does come with the hockey puck display stand we're used to seeing in this line. Seen it a million times. I'm sure we'll see it at least a million more this year because, again, like I said in the Deathstroke review, seems like Todd's giving us a figure every freaking week, which, speaking of which, bringing in good old Slade Wilson. The anatomy on Talon's pretty good. It's kind of throwing me off with the mask and stuff, because the way it's shaped. But the chin-to-shoulder ratio seems good. He's got that V shape, albeit the belt throws it off, but his belt's a little bulkier than Slade's here. But for the most part, it seems alright. Maybe the shoulders could be a little higher, but I got them as high as I could, and it looks fine to me. That said, again, for those of you who give me shit about that, I don't know where I put his card. But either way, I think this is it. Yeah, there it is. When you give me a photo from the source material, I'm gonna try and base my opinions off of how close the figure I got is to that. So, you know. I don't believe reading every comic ever makes you the end-all be-all of action figure reviewers. Comic reviewers, yes. But this is not a comic book review channel. I'm reviewing figures based off of comic books. There's a difference. Look it up. That said, as far as the articulation on this guy goes, and I'm sure that'll be the last time I mention that, unless somebody wants to talk some shit, then I'll be sure to roast you publicly. I have no shame in doing that. But as far as articulation on this guy goes, his head does look up and down a little bit. Just tilt side to side. It does rotate. A little hindered due to the shape of the mask, but that's to be expected. His shoulders do go out. They do go back down. One has the ratchet, one doesn't. It is what it is. They do rotate. They do have that rotator cuff in there, though it doesn't give you much range. And if you take those out, it's actually easier to get his shoulders to sit up a little higher, give him that more heroic physique, or I guess in this case, villain physique, super villain physique that I like. But that said, he does have a butterfly bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which are a little nicer than Deathstroke's. He's got an elbow pad, clearly. There is like some kind of panel line here that is sculpted to make it look like it's meant to be raised. So while he does have a little bit of the Cliffs It Over going on, I'll give him a bit of a break because he does have an elbow pad, and that would be raised anyways. That said, he does have the hinge swivel wrists that do work pretty well. I guess my only minor nitpick is I wish he did come with an alternate hand without the claws. Because if you got those out, what do you need any other weapons for, right? You just claw someone across the face like the hunter from Gargoyles and, you know, cause somebody's family bloodline to hunt you forever. It is what it is. That said, he does have the little stakes on his torso there and a little owl medallion or pendant or whatever that is. So that's pretty cool. And it is glued on the front. And no, this strap cannot go over the sword sheath. I already tried to wedge it in there. It does not work. You'll just stretch this thing out and probably snap it. So I wouldn't advise doing that. I didn't do that to mine, thankfully, but I wanted to give it a shot. That said, he can bend back that far. He can bend forward. Okay. Could be better. Especially in the upper torso. But at least nothing's super loose. So there is that. He does get some tilt. He does get some rotation. If you find the sweet spot, you can find the tightest points of the torso joints. I'm a poet and didn't know it. That said, he does have a knife sheath here, much like the Deathstroke I looked at the other day. A lot of comparisons to that video. Much like that review, he had a knife sheath with no knife to go in it. That kind of sucks. It looks unfinished. Because, you know, if we're not going to get action features with that superpowers line, the least you could do is give us functioning sheaths, man. What the hell? That said, his hip range is kind of shit. It's not the best. And neither are his cakes. He's got a flat ass. Looks like my ass going on there. That said, he can kick out. I think this side kicks out a little better. His legs are super hindered by the diaper piece and this kind of skirt piece here, so that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. He does have a little bit of a thigh quiver in there. This side doesn't feel like it's moving at all. Oh, there we go. I had to free that up. Okay. That said, he does have a double knee. Again, not the best, but he does also have a knee pad, so it would be raised anyways. But this could have been just a tad flatter. Just a smidge. But definitely not the worst. It definitely does not have the Superwoman Doomsday Spike thing going on, that's for sure. That said, he does have the ball hinge ankles, which on this side, there is no ratchet whatsoever. This could stiffen up, of course, because my Haunt, who had no ratchet on one side, stiffened up. This side has, this ratchet's tight as balls. Like, this is ridiculous. But this side, yeah, it's extremely lacking in the ratchet. There's like none there. That said, it isn't really loose. It's just, there's no ratchet there. And I don't think he has the sculpted ankle balls. It wouldn't really make sense. because he's got the shin guard kind of going over top there, but he might. I just can't tell. That said, he does have a rocker and a toe hinge, which is tight in neutral, as well as peg holes at the bottom of the feet. He does have some tread too, which I didn't mention that on Deathstroke. He did have some really nice tread as well. That said, are his boots supposed to be orange or black like they were? You decide. But yeah, Talon's a really awesome figure, man. I'm glad to have a Talon. I never bought any of the DC Collectibles ones because I could only assume they shattered like glass. So that's kind of why I held off until now. Is that foot sticking out longer? No, I don't think so. Talking to myself. But either way, this is definitely an improvement to those DC Collectibles ones. Maybe not as far as the paint goes, but definitely as far as playability goes. I don't feel like I'm going to break this guy, which is always nice. Because I have enough problems with these without breaking shit. It's like, geez. But there's him with his swords. As far as these little Ginsu knives are concerned. I know they're not Ginsu knives, I just think that word's fun to say. I tend to like to slip the trigger finger over the front of the guard there. Makes them a little bit more secure. And if I'm being honest, I would like to see some more characters from the storyline. So I do believe this is a specific Talon. I don't think it's meant to be an army builder, though you could do that. And for those of you out there gonna army build, don't be a dick and ruin it for everyone else and buy 50 of these and make them hard to find and expensive, because that shit's not cool. I don't condone that type of behavior. Especially after the drama with the freaking Horde Troopers from Motu Origins. Like, are you freaking kidding me? I mean, do your thing. We don't judge here, but don't be a dick. Ruin it for everyone else. That said, I really dig this figure, despite its shortcomings. A little perplexed by that ankle, but I'm sure that will most likely stiffen up over time. I don't know, my Deathstroke seems to have stiffened up a little bit since I got him, and I remember his being close to where this guy's is at, so maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. Maybe I'm full of shit, but at the end of the day, if you don't like it, well, there are plenty of other channels out there to watch, isn't there? So that being said, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up here is Talon next to Damian Wayne, aka Robin from either Rebirth or a New 52. I'm not 100% sure which, so please let me know about that in the comments below, as well as the Rebirth Batman, my favorite, more traditional looking Batman in the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, albeit a little bit on the short side, especially compared to Talon here, who is a pretty tall figure, so that is a bit unfortunate. But with that said, are we gonna get a Robin and Batman that works really well with this Talon figure? Because I feel like he is from a specific story arc, and at this current time I don't think we have the representations of Batman and Robin we need to go with this guy quite yet. But again, let me know if I'm wrong about that in the comments below. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus, the living spawn, who's about neck and neck with good old Talon here. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and as I said before in my Deathstroke review from the other day, check that out if you haven't already, it'd mean a lot to me if you did. While this figure isn't perfect, it's good enough for what it is. And that's kind of how I feel about the entire McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. They're not perfect figures, but they're good enough for what they are. Because most of the time, for a $20 price point, I mean, I know there are multiple price points with this line, but we're talking about the $20 figures right now, you get a 100% unique sculpt most of the time, with character-specific accessories most of the time, and some paint thrown on them most of the time. And for 20 bucks, you could do a hell of a lot worse, man. These figures, for what they are pretty damn good. And I'm still curious as to why people are hating on this line. Maybe people just suck, and I just need to realize that. But at the end of the day, I still like this line despite its flaws, and for 20 bucks, again, I could be doing a hell of a lot worse. Marvel Legends! Oh wait, those are almost 30 bucks. Sorry about that. So, with that being said, I would highly recommend if you are into Talon as a character, or if you are one of those psychos who likes to army build, pick one, if not maybe a few of these up. Just don't be a dick and ruin it for the rest of us, okay? So that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. If you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when I know there's a few of you out there who are going to be dicks and ruin this for the rest of us by buying 5,000 of these. You know who you are. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.